The last time I saw Captain Smart vent, and Captain Smart is talking like he has not been to court before. And my own brother, Captain Smart, sometimes you go overboard because, you need to explain to Ghanaians. You need to talk to Ghanaians. You need to educate Ghana for how court processes work. Nobody has control over the court process. So you can't sit on TV or sit on your show and make it look like, say, Attorney General Nation Suitor or record also in your judgment. It does not work like that. As much as we are all frustrated, you need to educate the public. Okay, in Kofo court, in Kofo are being prosecuted. This is what happens. The people who are being prosecuted, they have their day in court. They also need to speak. So you don't sit on TV and when I see Captain Smart make so much noise and say, Attorney General, no, he's a criminal, I don't trust him. You're not being fair to your listeners. You are misinforming them. You need to let them understand. Because you, Captain Smart, so when you're a Sama, you also want to go to court, you want to be heard, you want the process to be fair. So why don't you want people to also go through the fair process? Unless you don't want to be rude to yourself. Unless you don't want to be rude to Ghanaians. Or else maybe you are using emotions to speak. I respect your job. I respect your credibility. You have worked hard to this point, and a lot of people respect the job you do. But sometimes we need to put our emotions aside and explain to the people. We should put our emotions aside. A court in the echo. Until they are proven, say, nobody can sit and say, Attorney General does not want to follow the case. When did you hear Attorney General say it's a case where I don't want to follow it? I am yet to hear one person come on TV, one journalist who say, Attorney General went to court and said, I don't want to follow this case again. As we speak today, the Attorney General is always in court. The Attorney General is making his case. The lawyers for the defendants are also there. So why do we have to sit here? Now, I want prosecution done. I want people prosecuted. Does it mean I have to come and sit here and attack the Attorney General? Abraham, you know how court processes work. Abraham, I know how court processes work. So if I know how court processes work, I cannot be a hypocrite and sit here and say, because I said this before, they have to prosecute, I have to come here and speak against the government, speak against the Attorney General, make it look like, say, nobody. You, Captain Smart, you have been to court before. You know how it works. You know that people have to be giving their day in court. So what is this issue of the country, the Attorney General, the government? You are silly. It is our job, it is our responsibility as a media to educate the public. In NDC for a campaign, Omoka said they will prosecute. So John Mahama and NDC come more power and come back to Ghana for say when we come, we will bring them to NDC headquarters and jail them. Or say we will prosecute. Prosecutorial process means people have to come to court and also make their defense in front of a judge for a decision to be made. It means the government has less power when it comes to the court because the court is an independent body. They also sit, listen, and make judgments. If today say and the case was court na the whole case internet TV so can say and Attorney General I don't trust him, he's a criminal. You might not like his style of prosecution, obia with your pen asem. You might not like the way he goes about his case, obia with your pen asem, but you cannot come to that conclusion that the government is corrupt and that this government does not want to prosecute. When you do that, then you are not being fair to yourself and being fair to the people who are listening to you. With all due respect to you, Captain, and sometimes, I see the way you are so passionate about what you are saying, and I think sometimes you let your emotions take over you. The issues are the issues. We making noise on TV and radio will not push the court because the court needs to look at evidence, deduce everything before they make judgment. If Chairman Wontumi was your father, if Chairman Wontumi was your brother, and he was pushed into jail in 24 hours, you would have come to speak. You would have made noise and said the court and the government and the day, the constitution has not been fair to another Ghanaian. So why are we not allowing people to have their day in court? We cannot act as if we say every day is because it's against Chairman Wontumi, it's against Edu Boahen, it's against some people we don't like. Judgment should be today. It doesn't work like that. So we are trying to make sure we calibrate the system well. It does not mean people are going to get away with murder. It means the system is going to be rigid, it's going to be solid, it's going to be fluid. At the end of the day, justice will be done. Those who have committed a crime will be forced to serve jail time. That is how you govern. That is how you build a nation. But we don't sit there and scream and scream. Mimi Yama and Chairman Wontumi them 30 years. But I can't get it like that way because Emra Okronim, because he has a right to a lawyer, because he needs to go to court and also speak. Into Muhammad radio, TV, I know how frustrated you are, but you see, because you don't want people jailed more than the Attorney General. Until we need to sometimes sit back and swallow our emotions a little bit and make the factual statement. Say, okay, because you're creating pressure. We say, I didn't know jail. No, case record, you don't determine when the person goes to jail. And you, Captain, you know more than I know. Majority of you people sitting on TV and on radio, you know more than I know. When cases enter court, you don't determine when the case should end. It is the court that determines when the case should end. So what has the Attorney General done? And I'm not saying the Attorney General is doing everything perfect. I wish that the Attorney General would do more than he's doing. But the fact of the case is, the Attorney General does not have control over the case. It is the judiciary, it is the court that determines it. We as journalists, we should know more than this. We should be able to educate. As much as I hate Chairman Wontumi, I will not sit here and say, go through the process. No. You get what I mean? As much as say, Minim se chema huntumi akromfo, we din kwasi asem, edubu an Ghana, all the people they have lined up in court, no, they have caused the nation. No, I will not sit here and say because I don't like them. No, yeah, for 24 hours from Kuku DJ, because tomorrow I don't know who is going to be before the court. So we need to stick to the rules. We need to allow the process to work. If we don't have patience for the process to work, then we start to abuse power. Then we start to do the same thing Kufuor did. Then we start to look like the NPP. Nobody likes to see criminals walk, but we need to also understand. 9/11 American, they have access to lawyers. It should tell you this is a world where people have access to lawyers. They have to make their case. So let's educate the people. Say, a case or quarter, it means they are building up a case to prove at the end of the day. Say, in a case or quarter, the process needs to work, and that is what we journalists.